Welcome to the first show of Studio G. I'm Hero Guerra.
And I'm Ima Malik. We have a packed show for you this Thursday morning, so let's get right into it.
Gas prices continue to increase nationally, but here in the Las Vegas Valley, the cost of filling up has reached an all-time high. Since U.S. airstrikes hit Iran on February 28th, Vegas locals have experienced roughly a $1 surge increase in gas prices. According to AAA fuel prices, Clark County residents spend an average of $4.87 a gallon, which 4 weeks ago was roughly $3.65. The yearly average also looks very similar statewide. A year ago, the state average regular unleaded fuel was $3.74, but now the current state average for regular unleaded is $4.81.
Rebels, coming from spring break, you may have ran into some travel issues if you had a flight to catch. Reporter Ariel Meza is in the studio to tell us more about the airport fiasco over the last week.
Air travel across the United States has been facing major disruptions as the ongoing federal government shutdown continues to impact TSA staffing nationwide. The partial shutdown affecting the Department of Homeland Security began in mid-February after Congress failed to pass a funding agreement, leaving thousands of TSA officers working without pay. Because of that, airports around the country have reported higher call-out rates and longer security lines as staffing shortages grow during one of the busiest travel periods of the year, spring break. Some airports have even reported wait times stretching well over an hour, with delays and cancellations piling up across the national air travel network. Here in Las Vegas, the effects were noticeable at Harry Reid International Airport over the final weekend of spring break. Travelers experienced longer security lines and occasional delays as TSA staffing shortages created bottlenecks at checkpoints. Officials say the airport is continuing to monitor the situation and encouraging passengers to arrive at least 2 to 3 hours before their flights. With spring travel still underway and the shutdown unresolved, passengers across the country may continue seeing delays until federal funding negotiations are settled. Reporting for Studio G, I am Ariel Meza.
Thank you, Ariel. Congress is still negotiating a deal to restore federal funding for the Department of Homeland Security, as the partial shutdown continues to impact TSA operations nationwide. Good luck to any rebels traveling anytime soon.
Now on to some more lighthearted news. A couple weeks ago, the College of Education held a networking event for its grad students and alumni, but with a little bit of a twist: puppies and pizza.
Held in the courtyard right behind the Student Union, the college encouraged its graduate students and alumni to bring their families and dogs to an outdoor networking event, share in their love of dogs, and also free food with the pizza and drinks provided. Be sure to always keep an eye out for these events to meet new people, see cute dogs, and get free food. The Immersive Learning Lab located in the Beam Hall had its grand opening yesterday, and now students are able to access the lab and explore a VR world. Johan has a preview.
Hi, my name is Johan Sabas, and I'm here with Studio G at the new Immersive Learning Lab. Let's go take a look.
Hi, my name's Andrea Fromm. I am the Director of Immersive Learning Initiatives here on campus, and I can't wait to tell you more about our new Immersive Learning space. Our Immersive Learning Lab is open to students on Monday through Friday from 8 until 6. Students can come here and they can actually have access to a plethora of different headsets. So we have 25 Pico headsets, and then we have 5 MetaQuest headsets. We have 7 different applications that are on each of the different, hardware, and students are able to just come in and utilize whatever app they're interested in. This is something that's important because for me, as the Director of Immersive Learning, my goal is to be able to provide accessibility to hardware and software for extended realities for all of our students. And so mainly I want students to be able to learn through virtual reality and mixed reality. And I just feel like it's a way for more hands-on learning to happen, and it's really engaging.
Students should definitely come down to the Immersive Learning Lab so they can experience learning in a different way. We've kind of experienced this traditional type of learning that's on a textbook or in front of a screen. At the Immersive Learning Lab, you can get into these applications from a different perspective, right? There's a difference between looking at like an anatomical model on a textbook opposed to kind of looking at one 360 when you're kind of grabbing and touching things. So it's a new way of learning that they haven't explored before. Well, like so many things at UNLV, students are the backbone of making things happen. And in this space specifically, we had students kind of learn these apps from the ground up. Some of our student workers had no VR experience at all, and in the last few weeks, they've put in a lot of time to kind of get good at using these apps, and they're the ones who support the space, right? I'm not always in here, some other person's not always in here, and they're the ones who are interfacing with our students. So really, they are the spine and the backbone of this location. And there's also a student-built application available in this space that was created in these VR worlds by our students. So they really are an integral part of making sure that these day-to-day things happen.
My name is Johan Ceballos. Now, if you excuse me, I got a virtual world to explore. Sending it back to the studio.
Thank you, Johan. NBA has voted to explore Vegas with all 30 owners in favor. Alexa Ibarra has more.
Las Vegas could be one step closer to landing an NBA team. The National Basketball Association is officially exploring expansion, and Vegas is right at the center of it. On March 25th, the league's Board of Governors unanimously voted to begin formally exploring expansion in both Las Vegas and Seattle. Commissioner Adam Silver says the move reflects strong interest in markets with proven support for basketball. Las Vegas has built a strong sports reputation in recent years, hosting NBA Summer League and the NBA Cup, while also seeing success with teams like the Aces. If approved, the league would expand to 32 teams with a potential debut as early as the 2028 through 2029 season. Franchise bids are expected to reach between $7 and $10 billion, making them some of the most valuable in sports history. Now, passing it back to the desk, if NBA does expand to Vegas, what would you guys want the team name to be called?
Thanks, Alexa. Some of the team names circulating around the potential expansion cities are Sin City Hustlers, Las Vegas Dust Devils, Las Vegas Outlaws, Las Vegas High Rollers, the Vegas Jokers, and Las Vegas Gamblers. But if I were to choose, I'm not really into that whole gambling vibe. I think there's more to this city.
I mean, I was honestly thinking Las Vegas Sinners, but I don't know if that's any better than Gamblers, in your opinion.
I'm not sure we'll find common ground on this, but time will tell once the team comes to Las Vegas.
The Vegas Golden Knights Foundation partners with Garden Farms of Nevada for a farmers market. This takes place from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in Lee's Family Forum in Henderson. The farmers market features fresh produce grown by students from 19 schools. The Garden Farms of Nevada empowers individuals and communities to grow their own food. The organization supports schools, senior centers, and low-income communities by helping them build and maintain a garden that improves access to fresh and healthy food. Now let's go to Maya Perez for your weather for today. Maya, how's it looking?
Hi, and welcome to weather. Let's get right into it because I know the sky's got some sun for us. Let's see, the current temp is actually 86 degrees and it's partially cloudy, which isn't usual since last week it was in the high 90s. Now, moving on forward, let's look at the valley temperature as a whole. Summerlin is at 79, Enterprise at 81, Anthem at 87, Henderson at 83, Boulder at 83, Sunrise at 83, North Las Vegas at 86, and Las Vegas at 86. That's the highest so far. Now, on campus, from 3 to 4, it'll be 90 to 91 degrees. 3 will be 90, 4 will be 91. Let's look at the next sunset time. Oh, 6:58. Not used to that, huh? Because it usually used to go down around 4 to 5. Moving forward, we have our 7-day forecast. Thursday, it'll be the high 92, but the low at nighttime will be 63. Friday, 90, 65. Look at this, 91, 65, 91, 64, 86, 66, 76, 57, 76, 54. Look at it's slowly getting cooler as we go on. Now, that's it for weather. Let's say hi to the sunny skies and hello to Hero and Ima for the rest of the show.
Thank you, Maya. Your local museum isn't always just pictures on walls. Let's send things over to our reporter AJ Valoria, who joins us live right here in studio with more.
That's right, Harold. Art can change our lives in positive ways, but what if we combined it with nature? The Marjorie Barrick Museum of Art does exactly that. I stopped by and got the chance to learn more about their current exhibition. It's the wrong story. The only free art museum in Las Vegas is located at UNLV.
My name is Deanne Soll, and I am an editor and curator at the Marjorie Barrick Museum of Art.
The Marjorie Barrick Museum of Art brings many artists together for their spring show. Deanne tells me this one inspires visitors to stay grounded.
It focuses on actions that you can take to enhance your relationship with the earth, to think about your relationship with the earth, to relate to the earth in a different, deeper way.
In the exhibition El Camino se traza al andar, Jackie Mesquita reflects on the journey of migration.
She's originally from Guatemala and she traveled to the United States.
She takes soil from the US and Mexico border and mixes it with rainwater, rocks, copper, limestone, and corn.
It reflects on the border wall, it reflects on soil, the implications of soil, what it means to be on soil, to dwell on soil, to think of soil.
Morning Songs of Salt and Silt by Amy Elkins is another example of using natural elements as art.
In Amy's case, she's looking very strongly at water. So the whole body of work that's in this show is a memorial to her late father.
Water was a big part of her dad's life, and Elkins uses the process known as a cyanotype.
It's a very early form of photography. It was developed across the 1840s in the UK. It's photography that takes place without a camera.
Elkins uses cyanotypes to create a testament to life.
She took her father's ashes. So these are artworks that take the material of what was his living body. She combined it with natural elements like silt, like salt, and she took this mixture and her surfaces, her big cotton cloth surfaces, to bodies of natural water.
Actions for the Earth is a group exhibition showcasing the work of 18 artists.
It's curated by an Australian curator called Sharmila Wood.
The traveling show turns art into an immersive experience.
So the circle on the wall is really a focus. You might think that some artists who paint things on walls want you to look at the subject matter of what they've painted. With Pauline's work, she has a composition that's running on headphones.
Actions for the Earth also focuses on presence.
Have you thought of really listening to the birds around you? Have you thought of growing plants in a certain formation that has meaning to you? Those kinds of things are ideas that you can take from these artworks and you can carry around with you when you leave.
While the museum is open to the public, Deanne says her team keeps students in mind.
We know that community is something that the university likes to focus on.
She says one of their goals is to provide a space for people to connect with others and with themselves.
There is a lot of agitation in the world right now. There's a lot of people trying to make us agitated and unground us and make us lose focus and make us not think about what's important.
With an emphasis on nature, the spring exhibition shows the gentleness, mindfulness, and diversity among the artists.
These are not artists who want to dominate their materials. They're not forcing their materials to submit to what they want to do to them. They're artists who are coming to their materials and saying, okay, show me what you are.
The spring exhibition is open now all the way up until June. And if you want to check it out yourself, the museum is open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Reporting live in studio, I'm AJ Valoria. Back to you.
AJ, and speaking of the museum, Shared Stories, Shared Healing took place in their auditorium just yesterday. This special event allowed storytellers to share their personal journeys and passion for writing. They covered topics like abuse, grief, growth, healing, and overall what it means to be human. The event also included complimentary tea and a writing reflection at the end. It was in collaboration with the William Boyd School of Law and the UNLV Care Center.
Although Black History Month has come to an end, black hair care remains an essential part of many young students' daily lives and self-expression. The city of North Las Vegas, alongside its first black mayor, Pamela Goins Brown, hosted a hair care drive dedicated to supporting students, boosting their confidence both in and out of the classroom and celebrating the beauty of black culture and identity. We had the opportunity to sit down with Mayor Goins Brown to discuss the importance of maintaining healthy hair, the impact of representation, and how her historic role as North Las Vegas' first black mayor continues to inspire the next generation to embrace who they are with pride.
What inspired me to start the drive is conversations with young girls and boys in our schools here in North Las Vegas on the importance of being motivated to come to school, feeling about, self-motivation and courage, and just feeling good about themselves inside and out. This drive celebrates Black culture and identity because they are products that are specifically tailored to textured hairstyles, and it's also about healthy hair, taking care of the scalp, making sure your hair is moisturized and it's nourished. And so it's just all about developing great products for hair for people of color. I'm the first African-American mayor in Nevada's history, and it's a big deal because that has not happened before. So I just want to make sure that those that come behind me are confident in who they are, they believe in themselves, they feel good about themselves, they stand up tall, they smile, and they just, a walk of confidence. And I think that is so important for any young person who decides to take this route into politics. One beauty tip would be to make sure that you feel confident in your skin, own who you are, always smile, be very, very intentional when you step out that door and look your best like you just stepped out of Vogue magazine.
For more information on how to donate to next year's drive, visit thecityofnorthlasvegas.com/donate. Your contribution will help support students to ensure they are supported while continuing to celebrate confidence, culture, and community.
A UNLV-led team of astrophysicists are helping explain a mystery in space that scientists have been trying to solve for decades. Reporter Viviana Obeso has more.
Far out in space, not all stars shine the same or steadily. Certain systems go from brighter to dimmer. Now, UNLV researchers say they've figured out why. This new UNLV research study focuses on what scientists call cataclysmic variable star systems. Professor Rebecca Martin explains how these systems work.
A cataclysmic variable star is a white dwarf in a binary with a normal star, but they're so close that the material's being ripped off of the normal star, and it doesn't fall straight onto the white dwarf. It sort of circles around and forms an accretion disk around the white dwarf. So within this accretion disk, the material gradually spirals inwards onto the white dwarf.
This new theory offers a new perspective, showing that these disks aren't perfectly circular, but instead in an unusual shape, causing the light to change in repeating patterns. This study was led by researchers at UNLV's Nevada Center for Astrophysics and the Space Telescope Science Institute. Professor Stephen Lepp explains the impact studies like this one have on the school.
And I think it makes it a good educational environment, basically. I mean, if the people you're learning from are the people who are also kind of expanding the field, then that's the best people to kind of do your training with and your education with.
This research study was published earlier this week on the Astrophysical Journal. Reporting for Studio G, I'm Viviana Obeso.
Thanks, Viviana. What an interesting study. I'm going to have to look more into that.
Some major sports and entertainment news has been announced coming out of the Sphere right here in Las Vegas. Floyd Money Mayweather plans to take on Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao for a highly anticipated rematch scheduled for September 19th at the Sphere. The fight is also planning to be streamed on Netflix. Mayweather announced he'll be returning back to the ring to take on Mike Tyson in an exhibition fight scheduled for the spring. Pacquiao returned in July to challenge champion Mario Barrios and is also looking to take on a tune-up in Ruslan Provodnikov here at UNLV's Thomas & Mack Center. In other Sphere news, legendary American rock band Metallica has announced a residency called Life Burns Faster. The band takes a stage starting October 1st, and their show will run through March 13th of next year. The band took to their website to thank their fans for their warm response to the band's announcement. Metallica looks to join the Sphere following several other bands who have performed at the venue, like Backstreet Boys, No Doubt, Fish, and the Eagles.
March is Women's History Month, and to celebrate, a sunset yoga session was held at the Alumni Amphitheater from 5 to 8 p.m. This event was open to all and included things like yoga, a photo booth, and giveaways. There will be more events happening throughout the month of March.
One way of not only self-care for women, but honestly, it's just another way to de-stress from whatever it is students are going through, midterms, their grades, jobs, just a way to decompress.
So many different ways to describe being a woman. Being powerful, smart, active, caring, nurturing, but also like being independent and knowing what you want.
There's nothing.
A robotaxi company, Zoox, is continuing its expansion services right here in Las Vegas. The plan is to add more pickup and drop-off locations on the Strip, including the Convention Center. It begins limited service to high-traffic events at the Sphere and T-Mobile Arena. The company is also testing out at the Harry Reid Airport with a retrofitted testing fleet. Riders can check the full list of locations on the Zoox app. And that will do it for us today here in Studio G. Make sure to stay tuned for our next Thursday's show on YouTube. I'm Hero Guerra.
And I'm Ima Malik, and you're watching Studio G.